This Day in Sports History. This episode is brought to you by the Sterling Soap Company. Sterling Soap is 100% natural and with a variety of bath soaps, shave soaps, beard balm, lotions, cologne, and many more personal care products in a large variety of scents, you're sure to find something that's perfect for you or that special someone in your life. Check them out at sterlingsoap.com. And welcome back to This Day in Sports History, a member of the Sports History Network, where you can find more podcasts, more info, and we have another giveaway going on. Darren Hayes, a member of the Sports History Network family, as the host of Pigskin Dispatch, just released a new book. It's called Marooned: The Rise, the Fall, and the Redemption of the NFL's Pottsville Maroons, and it details the controversy around the team and the 1925 NFL season. Was that season's NFL championship stolen from Pottsville? Enter for your chance to win an autographed copy of the book. Just go to sportshistorynetwork.com/giveaways. It's May 22nd, and on this day in 1976, heavyweight boxer Oscar Bonavena was shot and killed outside of the famed Mustang Ranch brothel. Bonavena was a wild, swinging, trash-talking, granite-jawed journeyman fighter from Argentina. In 1968, he got a title shot against Joe Frazier, losing in a 15-round decision. He earned a reputation as a guy who could take a punch. In 1970, he got another title shot as Muhammad Ali's second opponent after his 3-year suspension for refusing the draft. So Ali was as big a trash talker as there was in boxing, right? And his verbal jabs could cut a little too close to the quick. Sonny Liston could have attested to that. Well, Bonavena had a big mouth as well, and it was on full display in the pre-fight weigh-in. Now, here he is talking to Ali, refusing to call him by his Muslim name, and then mocking him for refusing to go into the military.
Not with Muhammad Ali.
Clay.
Clay? I said Muhammad Ali.
Clay?
You will call it when the fight comes off.
Clay?
Wait till the fight comes off.
He will be shamed to show his face in Argentina after this fight.
Doctor, is there any doubt about their condition?
Listen to me.
Both in great shape.
Why you not go with the army? You chicken?
Both fighters are in excellent and exceptional shape.
Say that one more time.
Vocally as well as physically.
Why
Yes,
you
absolutely.
not go the army? Why you not go the army?
I will tell you Monday night in the first clinch we get in.
Chicken, you chicken. Beep, 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 chicken, beep.
Good deal. Keep talking.
Chicken.
Keep talking. Now I know you're going to get a whooping.
Bonavena stepped way over the line, though, when he called Ali a black kangaroo and then suggested later that Ali was gay. It riled Ali up, and he said he never wanted to whoop a guy so bad, predicting that he'd knock Bonavena out in the 9th round. The fight went a little longer than he predicted, though, going to the 15th and final round before Ali put him on the mat.
Oh, that left floored him. It came from nowhere. Ali came through with a left. The crowd screaming. The first knockdown of the fight. He took the mandatory 8. And now Ali is behaving like the old Ali. One more knockdown in this round. The fight is automatically over. Bonavena is running. If he goes down again, it's over. Ali is the knockout winner at 2 minutes and 3 seconds by my unofficial clock of the final round. It began with a left. I'm going up to ring center.
That was one of Bonavena's 9 losses. He eventually won a total of 58 fights, 44 by knockout. So that just gives you a little background on who Bonavena was and brings us to what happened on this day in '76. Bonavena was apparently having an affair with the wife of the owner of the Mustang Ranch, Joe Conforte. The Mustang Ranch was located in western Nevada, and it became the first legal brothel in the U.S. in 1971. Well, Bonavena had moved to Nevada to continue fighting and to also promote fights in the area. In fact, he had most recently fought and won a 10-round decision in February of '76 against an unranked fighter in Reno. It was believed by a lot of people in that area that Bonavena and Joe's wife Sally were having an affair. Sally was 26 years older than Oscar, and she sort of masked the relationship by saying that she was his manager, but most thought the relationship was more intimate than that. So the story goes that Sally and Oscar were conspiring to kill Joe, and Bonavena would slide right into Joe's role of owner and operator of the famous Mustang Ranch. Conforte was a mob-connected guy, and word had gotten back to him about the affair and also the plot to kill him. When Bonavena drove to the ranch on the night of the 22nd and he got out of his car, Conforte's bodyguard, Willard Ross Brymer, confronted him, holding a bolt-action shotgun. Words were exchanged. Bonavena, the man who could not hold his tongue, said a little too much, and whether he was reaching for a weapon or not, Brymer shot him in the chest. When Bonavena's body was searched, police found Sally's gun hidden in his boot, giving credence to the idea that, Oscar was there to confront Joe and shoot him. Bonavena had been a hero to many boxing fans back in Argentina, and they were devastated to hear the news of his death. They became even more outraged when Brymer said he was only trying to scare the boxer with a warning shot, and he pleaded no contest to manslaughter after the first trial ended in a mistrial. Bonavena was 33 years old when he died. His body was shipped back to Argentina, where an estimated 150,000 people paid their respects at a public viewing of his body. On this day in 1988, it was a head-to-head battle of two NBA stars in a Game 7. This was the 1988 Eastern Conference semifinals between the Atlanta Hawks and the Boston Celtics. Dominique Wilkins, a.k.a. the human highlight reel, versus Larry Legend in the Garden. The Hawks were stinging a little bit after reeling off 3 straight wins in the series to take a 3-2 series lead. Atlanta had a chance to close out the series in Game 6 on their home floor, but they failed to rise to the moment. With 4 seconds to play in that game, the Hawks had the ball and a chance to tie it, but Doc Rivers made a questionable decision to pass it into Cliff Levingston instead of Neek, who, to be fair, was closely guarded by Dennis Johnson, but still, Levingston was not the guy you wanted with the ball in that moment. And he missed the shot. The Celtics won by a bucket, and the series returned to Boston for the decisive game. And this boiled down to a mano-a-mano matchup between two future Hall of Famers. Brent Musburger had the call that day for CBS.
Bird now cuts free. Putting Boston ahead. Here's Wilkins. And that's what they must have. Bird gets it in low on the turnaround against Wilkins. Dominique hits a 3.
It's a duel. Put down your saber. A mano-mano duel. Bird versus Wilkins.
It's Bird's turn. Comes up with a shot, and the Celtics lead it. Wilkins this time gives it up and then gets it back. And Dominique high off the glass.
I don't think I've ever seen two stars respond like they have in this fourth quarter. Both Bird and Dominique Wilkins. Well, who's going to blink first?
Neither one of those guys blinked. The fourth quarter these two guys had was epic. Dominique scored 16 of his 47 points that day in the fourth. Bird, not to be outdone, scored 20 of his 34 in the final 12 minutes. His final bucket coming on this scoop shot, described by Musburger.
Defensive stop, a must here for the Hawks. Johnson gets it into Bird, and Wilkins is there. Bird comes free. Bird for the layup. You are watching what greatness is all about.
It was the 8th time in the previous 9 postseason meetings that Boston had ended Atlanta's season. So from those two legends, let's go to the birth of another one. Maybe that's being a little dramatic, but let me explain. On this day in 2009, it was LeBron James hitting his first postseason game winner. This was Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals between LeBron's Cleveland Cavaliers and the Orlando Magic. Game 1 had been a classic, and the Cavs had 2 shots in the final seconds to win, but neither shot was taken by LeBron, and neither shot went in. Here in Game 2, the Cavs fought back from a 23-point deficit to put themselves in position to win it. With 1 second to play in Game 2, Magic up 2, Cavs with the ball and facing the very real possibility of going down 0-2 in the series. Here's Marv Albert with the call from the TNT broadcast that night.
Mo Williams will throw in. Rashard Lewis playing off the ball. Lewis gets it to LeBron for 3 for the win. Yes! LeBron James at the buzzer as the Cavaliers have proven out to tie the series, and what a miraculous shot by James!
It was the only three that LeBron made in the game, and it gave the Cavaliers the 96-95 win and evened the series at a game apiece. So, why don't we talk about this shot in the same breath as Jordan's shot over Elo, or his championship-winning shot to beat the Jazz, or even Kawhi Leonard's buzzer-beating Plinko shot to beat Philadelphia in a Game 7? Well, simply, the Cavaliers did not go on to win the series. The Magic won the next two in Orlando and then closed it out when the series went back to Orlando for Game 6. If the Cavs had rewritten history and gone on to the finals to play the Lakers, then maybe, probably, we are talking about this one as one of the all-time great moments. But of course, there were still plenty of great moments to come for the NBA's all-time leading scorer. What happened on this night was just part of that continuing legacy. Moving on to a couple of great moments for women on this day in sports history. In 1977, race car driver Janet Guthrie became the first woman to qualify for the Indianapolis 500. Guthrie had actually participated in practice and a rookie test in '76. She even ran a Penske car on bump day the year before and ran a fast enough lap to attempt to qualify, but didn't make a go at it. So here she was a year later in '77 with the intent to make the starting grid. In practice on day one, Guthrie had the fastest lap, but when she hit the wall later in practice, it damaged the car a bit, but not badly enough that she couldn't make a run at a spot. On bump day, or the final day to qualify, Guthrie was the first car on the track and ran a 4-lap average of 188.404 miles per hour to make the race field and become the first woman to compete at the Indy 500. She started on the 9th row of 11. Race day did not go very well for her, though. She had engine trouble early and spent a lot of the day in the pits. She only completed 27 of the 200 laps, finishing 26th. On this day in 2003, Annika Sorenstam played against the men in the Bank of America Colonial golf tournament, becoming the first woman to play in a PGA Tour event since Babe Didrickson Zaharias back in 1945. The then 32-year-old Sorenstam was the best women's golfer on the planet at the time, and though there was some resistance to her playing, most famously by Vijay Singh, who said he would drop out of the tournament if he got paired with her, she did get a lot of support from other guys out there. Tiger thought it would be unfair to judge her on just one tournament. It would be better if she played 5 or 6. Phil Mickelson said that it's not a men's tour, it's the best golfers in the world tour. So she deserved the invite. Sorenstam was admittedly nervous as she stepped to the first tee on this day, but after she striped it down the middle, she let out a visible sigh of relief. She played solidly, parring 12 of the first 13 holes, hit 13 of 14 fairways, and made a birdie. She finished the first round at 1 over. Her second round was a little bit different, shooting a 4 over 74, and she missed the cut. On this day in 1963, Mickey Mantle hit another of his tape measure home runs to end the game against Kansas City at Yankee Stadium. In the 11th inning, he took a 2-0 Bill Fisher fastball deep to right. People said it sounded like a cannon shot. The ball was still rising when it hit the facade that is 108 feet above the field, and it nearly left the stadium. Mantle said it was the hardest ball he ever hit in his career, and if it had been able to continue on its journey, it's estimated it would have traveled between 636 feet and 734 feet. And time now for today's That's Got Nothing to Do with Sports fun fact. Elvis Presley was a natural blonde, but wanting to cultivate a bad boy image as a teenager, he began using black shoe polish to color his hair black. He eventually switched to black hair dye when he got older and could afford it. This has been an original Thrive Suite production.